Do you know what really sucks? Is sitting down to edit your project and realizing that you have gaps in your coverage or shots missing. You need to have a really good, specific, and detailed shot list. Head over to filmmakersecrets.com/shot list, SHOTLIST, to get a killer shot list template along with some training where I show you step by step exactly how to use it. And we're being just jostled and tossed around in the car, land on the side, and then there's this moment of silence. And you could only hear the voice of our driver saying, "Is everyone alive?" Filmmakers have the power to evoke emotion, inspire thought, and drive universal change in this world. Right now, a real seismic shift is happening in the film industry. This is your best chance to join a new filmmaking movement. You have been called to create an everlasting impact with your unmatched, deep desire to tell authentic stories. So how does a filmmaker thrive in an environment that is almost intentionally designed to bring you down? That is the question, and this podcast reveals the answer. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets. What's happening, filmmakers? It's George V.K. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets episode number 6. And I decided to do a solo show this time around because I missed talking to you guys. Whenever I'm interviewing filmmakers, it's me asking them a question and then I shut up. I let them divulge their secrets and their insight and filmmaking tips and tricks. And I kind of enjoy talking sometimes. I'm kind of an introvert, but when I'm talking one-on-one, or if there's some sort of distance between myself and the audience or the person that I'm speaking to, it's a little bit easier. I'm a little nervous right now because I'm actually doing a Facebook Live as I'm recording this podcast. And it's just kind of new. It's me diving into the deep end of the pool and seeing what happens and not caring what anybody else thinks. That's really the filmmaker way. So today I really wanted to talk about this concept that I've been thinking a lot about, and that is widening your understanding and your horizon of the meaning of the word film. So when I think of a film, it's 3 main ingredients that have to be within it. Number 1 is it's a visual medium, right? It's something aesthetically pleasing that we look at and we enjoy watching movies and TV shows and films and documentaries and commercials that are well shot and well made and well told. But the second ingredient is motion, because photography and painting is also a visual medium. So just to distinguish film, we have to make it a moving picture. That's why they're called movies. You know, a motion picture, a picture in motion. It's very poetic. I think that's why a lot of filmmakers love film. Anyway, I digress. The third ingredient, and arguably the most important ingredient to making a film, you guys know what that is? I'm curious. I wish you could respond back to me. But alas, this is a podcast and you are listening with your ear holes. The third ingredient is story. Story is so important because without a story, a film is just a video. Right? No, nothing to knock against video or people that call themselves videographers, but I actually recently just posted a quick little quote card on my Instagram, filmmaker.secrets, and it's videographers capture moments, filmmakers create a world. So even if you're in commercial videography, even if you shoot weddings, even if you're a documentary shooter, you are creating a film as long as you are infusing story into that project. So it could be literally anything, but a story is what really raises the perceived value of your quote unquote video. A story is what makes the audience, it grabs them by the throat and pulls them into your film. Remember, without story, a film is just video. So how do we make this infusion of story into our projects? Well, the main thing, and if you listen to last week's podcast, I interviewed Whit Ingram, who wrote Get Your Story Straight. It's a workbook to help you develop your character to the point that you know them so well, almost better than yourself, and you're able to tell the story and find your voice through that character. That is the most important thing. A lot of times I think filmmakers focus on the event or the situation of their story, and that just tends to fall flat. Because what an audience and the people that you are serving as a filmmaker relate to is other people. So your characters, the people that exist within your story, are the people that the audience will relate to. So how do you make an audience relate to the characters in your film? Well, there was a funny quote I heard, and I wish I could remember who said it originally. Please let me know if you know. But if you want to truly make your audience care for your characters, then you have to put your characters through absolute hell. And this is something that I think about a lot, because even in comedies, even in sort of quote unquote simple films, they still infuse story by putting their lead character especially through an absolute miserable experience. So let's think off the top of our heads. I'm thinking Breaking Bad, right? Walter White. He has one thing happen after another, after another. Every episode, it seems like things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And that's really the secret to making your audience care for your character. Put them through absolute hell. I often think about real circumstances in my life, and I take some ideas from personal experiences. There was a moment where I was on a hunting trip with my father, and on the way back, we stopped over at some bar. It was somebody's birthday, so he had a couple drinks, and he told my brother that he was going to drive the rest of the way. Now, we were on an 11-hour road trip, so it was the middle of nowhere, extremely brutally dark. My brother doesn't really know the road signs or how to drive in this foreign country. And my dad tells him to get behind the wheel and drive because he had a couple drinks. And we end up getting in this huge rollover accident. And the story doesn't end there because we land on the side. And I remember just seeing this flash of headlights on the road. And suddenly I'm thrust against the side of the car. I was sleeping at the time, so I was obviously jolted awake. And we're being just jostled and tossed around in the car, land on the side. And then there's this moment of silence. And you could only hear, is everyone alive? And I remember thinking, I need to tell him yes. So I say, yes, I am. And it was almost like this wind up in trailers that you hear, where it goes right up to the very climax of the trailer, where he says, get out. And we have to climb up through the side because the car is on the side, get out and quickly get far back from the car. There's smoke coming out. One of the wheels is popped off. The bumper is 50 yards away. I mean, it's scary. I was probably 12 at the time. And the story doesn't end there, because we were in the middle of nowhere. We happened to have a satellite phone, so my father was able to phone some people, and they were on the way, but they were 11 hours away, so there was no way they were going to be able to get to us in a reasonable amount of time. It's dark, it's cold, it's the middle of nowhere, and so we decided to try and come up with a plan. Luckily, there was a truck that was passing by. We flagged him down, and he was able to get the car on the right side, flip it over. But it wouldn't start. So we had to siphon the gas from the gas tank. We found this little rubber tube that was inside of the bumper that was 50 yards away. Used that to siphon the gas, to be able to line the tire that fell off, and with the ignition, by pouring the gas on the rim and throwing a match, it was the spark was able to pop the tire back onto the actual wheel. So we got the tire back on, turned on the car, it was able to start just fine. The windows are all gone. We get in, we start driving. My brother and I are in the back seat holding a blanket over us so the glass doesn't hit our face. And the rest was more or less a blur. I think I slept. I think I was awake. But what ensued was just an endless road back after this traumatic experience. So you see, just as an example, pulling from my personal experience, there is a story there. There's tension. There's a push and pull. There's the release of tension. We were finally able to get back home safely. And that's the secret, you guys. I hope that was coherent. I hope you got something out of that. Thank you so much for listening. If you got this far, I'm going to try to keep these solo shows under 15 minutes. Please, please, please let me know if this is the kind of thing that you enjoy listening to, or if you would prefer for me to focus on the interview shows, or if this type of me talking directly to you is useful and helpful. My sole goal is to be able to serve you at the highest level, to provide these free podcast episodes and sharing the knowledge that I gain and that I gather through this whole experience. So hopefully that's valuable to you and you take at least a small nugget away from this. Okay? So that's it, filmmakers. Please go rate the show, give me a rating so I know that you like it and that I feel encouraged to continue to put out this amazing content, continue to seek out amazing filmmakers to interview for you so that you can continue improving and producing winning films. Once again, it's George V.K. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. If you like that, then you are going to love my Cine Racing Challenge. This is a 7-day filmmaking competition where your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to write, shoot, and edit a short 60-second film in just 7 days for your one chance to win with over $10,000 in prizes. So head over to cineracing.com. That's cineracing.com to get registered. Spots are filling up fast and the timer is ticking before the next Cine Racing Challenge launches. So be sure to head over to cineracing.com right now to get registered. I'll see you over there.